A Detroit event raises $200,000 for charity.
Packages from Florida State shooter discovered. I'm Dan Kampanen.
And I'm Lily Howder, and this is your Public Eye News. Lakeshore Boulevard is closed indefinitely due to road erosion. Officials have closed the roads amid concerns that the erosion could be dangerous for motorists and could cause further issues to the city infrastructure. The city has hired engineers to improve the situation. The city is looking towards federal, state, and local partners to receive funding for the project. Until the roads are improved, drivers have been instructed to use a detour route that runs through Presque Isle Park. Police are looking for a driver after a hit-and-run incident that occurred in Marquette City on Thursday. The car, a silver Chevrolet, struck an oncoming Jeep on Lincoln Avenue at 11 p.m. that night. Police are asking that anyone with information on the driver or the incident to call the Marquette City Police.
Several volunteer firemen are holding a benefit for the children of their fallen partner. Paul Mackey worked for the Powell Township and Huron Mountain Club fire departments. He was killed a few weeks ago when waves overtook the boat he and two other surviving firefighters were working on. They're holding a spaghetti benefit to help get closure after the event. All the proceeds will go to Paul's Children's Trust Funds. Donations will be accepted at the benefit from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Powell Township Volunteer Services Building on Saturday. And you could have a chance to win $20,000 from the Calumet Theater. The theater is wrapping up ticket sales for its Grand Raffle drawing December 5th. Grand Raffle tickets are $50, and theater directors say many people purchase tickets with a group of friends. The money goes towards finishing payments on the theater's new furnace system. Theater directors are hoping to raise at least $15,000 and sell at least 1,000 tickets. Tickets can be bought from the theater box office and can be found at local Calumet businesses. Two
teenage boys are facing serious charges after facing accusations involving setting an unoccupied house and barn on fire in their school district's property in early October. Two of the boys, who have since been expelled from the school, are facing charges of arson and burglary. The third teenager served a suspension and is now back at the school. No one was injured in the incident, and the school district officials plan to demolish the fire-damaged house and clear the debris from the remaining from the barn. 40 business executives faced the freezing Detroit weather last night to see what it was like to be homeless. The event, which was created to raise money for the Covenant House Michigan nonprofit organization that offers support to the homeless youths in the city. The executives, which included a Delta Airline vice president and the Wayne State University president, were given a sleeping bag and a cardboard box and had to survive through an 18-degree night. The event raised more than $200,000 for charity. And after the break, we'll have your national and international news. Stay tuned.
This week on Media Meet, more than a year ago, Michigan took action to correct generations of mismanagement that left Detroit $18 billion in debt, its streets dark and unsafe, and its future in jeopardy. I'm Bill Hart. We'll discuss the history and prospects with NMU Political Science Chair Carter Wilson and award-winning journalist and author Charlie Leduff. Personal views on Detroit this week on WNMU's Media Meet.
Welcome back. A law enforcement official says a package mailed by a man who shot 3 people at Florida State University Library was delivered in Texas and is being investigated by the FBI. Authorities said Friday the package and others mailed by Florida State alumnus Myron May could contain a video and journals. Police officers killed May on Thursday after he shot 2 students and a library worker. The official who confirmed the delivery of the package spoke on a condition of anonymity because the person was not authorized to release said information. Police obtained a video and journals Thursday and learned May sent messages to friends telling them to expect a package. Authorities believe more packages will arrive to friends today. President Obama is headed to Las Vegas, where he will sign the memos changing immigration policies. The new rules will keep millions of Americans from being deported, but there is already blowback from some on Capitol Hill. Craig Boswell is at the White House with the details.
President Obama hits the road today to sell his plan to shield up to 5 million undocumented immigrants from deportation.
These people, our neighbors, our classmates, our friends, They did not come here in search of a free ride or an easy life.
Under the new rules, adults with children born in the U.S. or with permanent legal status can apply for a 3-year work permit. A simplified visa process will allow high-tech workers and foreign students in STEM courses to stay longer. It keeps heightened security on the southern border and focuses on deporting those who are high risk.
Felons, not families. Criminals, not children. Gang members, not a mom who's working hard to provide for her kids.
The president again told Congress to pass comprehensive immigration reform, but Republicans say the president's go-it-alone tactics have killed any chance of getting legislation passed.
I warned the president over and over that his actions were making it impossible for me to do what he wanted me to do.
House Speaker John Boehner said now Congress will act to block the president.
We will not stand idle as the president undermines the rule of law in our country and places lives at risk.
Boehner did not say exactly what steps he would take. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
Bandits in Guinea have stolen blood samples that officials say have Ebola. The blood samples were being transported in a van to be delivered to a test site. The bandits held up the vehicle and took the blood samples. Officials are uncertain why the bandits were after the samples and are asking for the safe return of the blood, which is considered to be potentially dangerous. Demonstrators fighting for an end to government corruption and violence have converged in Mexico City's capital, as well as Los Angeles. They are calling for the removal of Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto. Manuel Bojorquez has more on the story.
Some demonstrators turned violent, clashing with riot police outside the National Palace in Mexico City, tearing down barricades and throwing Molotov cocktails. Earlier in the day, tens of thousands had gathered in the capital city's main square to deliver a more peaceful message that the movement against government corruption and violence is growing. In downtown Los Angeles, the message was the same. Hundreds of activists marched to the Mexican Consulate General, calling for the removal of Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto, and counting to 43, the number of students who have now become symbols for change in Mexico. Those 43 students disappeared September 26th after boarding a bus to the town of Iguala to raise money for an upcoming trip. Authorities say the mayor there feared the students would disrupt an event for his wife and had police stop them. The officers opened fire and turned the students over to a drug gang, which killed them and burned their bodies. Uriel Solis escaped. I hid under the bus and played dead, he said. He's one of only 14 who got away. At first, we were afraid to speak out. Even though I'm alive, I feel dead. I don't fear death anymore. This man's son, Carlos Villarreal, is one of the 43. They have no hearts, he said of the kidnappers. It's like the people who did this have no fathers, no mothers, he added. There's nothing else I can say about the rage I feel.
A second man convicted nearly 40 years ago in a 1975 Cleveland slaying has walked out of jail a free man. 60-year-old Wiley Bridgman exited the Cuyahoga County Jail just a couple of hours after 57-year-old Ricky Jackson did the same. A judge dismissed the charges against the two men Friday after the key witness against Jackson, Bridgman, and his brother Ronnie Bridgman at trial, a 13-year-old boy, recanted last year. He said Cleveland police detectives coerced him into testifying that the three killed businessman Harry Franks the afternoon of May 19th of 1975. Bridgman, leaving the courthouse in jail Friday, embraced his brother, who was released in 2003. The death toll from the epic Buffalo area snowstorm has risen to 12, with the death of two elderly residents of a nursing home that was evacuated amidst rumors of a possible roof collapse. Erie County officials announced the deaths Friday. Deputy County Executive Richard Tobe also says 30 major building collapses were reported overnight, mostly involving farm buildings and buildings with flat roofs. Tobe says authorities expect to find more collapses after sunrise. Lastly, he says some farm animals have been injured, but no people. And stay tuned, because after the break, we'll have your weather and sports.
This week on High School Bowl, our first game pits the high school as far south as you can go in the UP with one of the high schools as far north as Menominee takes on Lake Linden-Hubble. Hi, I'm Jim Koski, and in the second game of High School Bowl, the only town in Upper Michigan who is named after British Prime Minister Gladstone takes on Carney-Nadeau. That's all coming up this week on High School Bowl.
And welcome back to your Public Eye News. I'm Dorsey Sprouse with the weather. Let's take a look behind me here on the campus of Northern Michigan University. You'll see that it is cloudy. It was snowing on and off a little bit earlier, but it looks like the snow has finally subsided. Right now, as I said, it's cloudy, a temperature of 23 degrees, and a south-southwest wind blowing at 20 miles per hour. The barometric pressure is falling from 30.12 inches. Tonight, it's going to clear up a little bit, partly cloudy. You're going to be able to see the moon, hopefully. A low of 20 degrees, and that south-southwest wind is going to blow a little bit slower, this time only at 18 miles per hour. Tomorrow, you're seeing rain. That's right, rain and not snow. A high of 37 degrees and a southwest wind blowing at 10 miles per hour. Taking a look at the area around us, you can see that it's cloudy throughout most of the Upper Peninsula, but there are a couple spots where the sun is shining through the clouds. One of those spots is Sault Ste. Marie, where it is currently 23 and partly cloudy. It is 25 and cloudy in Manistee, 22 and cloudy in Escanaba, 22 and partly cloudy in Menominee. Yes, and 20 and cloudy in Iron Mountain, 25 and cloudy in Ironwood. In Houghton, it is 23 and cloudy, and back here in Marquette, as I said before, it is 23 and cloudy. Let's take a look at your next 3 days. On Sunday, you're going to be seeing some more of that rain shower, a high of 40 and a low of 35. And on Monday, you're going to be seeing that rain turn a little bit into snow and a lot of wind, a high of 37 and a low of 25. And on Tuesday, you're going to be seeing some AM snow showers, back to the cold, a high of 26 and a low of 12. So fortunately, we get a little bit of a break from all this cold weather. And I hear that the Raiders got a break too.
They sure did, and it's the first time after 16 games.
Wow.
The Oakland Raiders managed a 24-20 victory over the Kansas City Chiefs last night. With a 9-yard touchdown pass from Derek Carr to James Jones and one last defensive stop with 1:42 left in the game, the Raiders finally broke their 16-game losing streak. The Raiders will be the third team to earn their first win over a first-place team from the merger after 10 games of the beginning of the season that were lost. Raiders rookie Carr impressed many with their 2 sneaks for a first down and an 8-yard pass touchdown to Michael Rivera. Chiefs' Alex Smith threw an incomplete pass on the 4th and 13 from their 48 and gave the Raiders a leg up. The Chiefs didn't give up, though. The score read 17-3 in the third quarter, as they made 3 scores in 8 minutes, which included Smith's 2 touchdown passes. The game left both teams with much to consider as they enter this next week. Minnesota Vikings running back Adrian Peterson vowed to never use a switch as a discipline for his children again. Suspended Peterson acknowledged a number of ways to discipline a child without using violence. Then the NFL announced on Tuesday that Peterson would be suspended for the rest of the season and would not be up for reinstatement until April 15, 2015. He is now focusing on the trial in which he pled no contest to reckless assault of a child and is working on improving his relationship with his son in order to show remorse for his actions. Peterson is also stressing that fans should not categorize him with former Ravens running back Ray Rice, who punched his then-fiancée in an elevator. It is unknown whether Peterson will ever play for the Vikings again. In other athlete abuse news, Los Angeles Kings defenseman Slava Voinov is now facing a felony charge after his arrest on suspicion of domestic violence in October. 24-year-old Voinov is set to be arraigned December 1st and could be locked up for a maximum of 9 years in a state prison if convicted of corporal injury to a spouse with great bodily harm. Voinov maintains his innocence and expects to be cleared of all charges. Voinov's wife Marta also expects her husband to be cleared of all charges since he did not intend on hurting her at the time. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of abuse going on in some sports lately.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to see that maybe some people's sports heroes aren't cracked up to who they really are.
I know, it really is a shame. And that's all we have time for today. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on Monday.
The preceding program was produced in studios located in the Edgar L. Hardin Learning Resources Center by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television.